Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Reds Talk. Joining me is Chivi for the starting 11 and the team news for the match against Burnley. And as you can see from his face, is extremely excited and confident that we are going to get the 3 points against Burnley. So, yeah, talk to me about this team, Chivi.
Um, it looks like it's a similar lineup to what we did against Arsenal and Fulham. The only change there is Dallo comes in for Patrick Dorgu, which I don't think anyone saw that. I'm not sure why that's the case. I didn't hear anything about an injury. I don't know if you heard anything, but that's the only change there. Before maybe up to an hour ago, I was very confident about coming in to get a win. But something about just seeing the exact same sort of team, just kind of just the doubt starts to creep in because you can't blame me. I'm sure there's a lot of United fans who feel the same way. Like, we're hoping to see some little tweak. Maybe Xerxes come on or Sesko starts or something, just some change. But then seeing the same team, I don't know what to expect. What I'm going to expect is that, this sort of system it means that the players have to be 100% every single game, right? That's basically what it means. I don't know what to expect, to be honest. I really don't. All of a sudden, it's just the doubts just kind of creeps in, and my confidence is kind of just dropping a little bit. But I'm hoping to see some sort of response. There has to be a response from Grimsby, regardless. Like, it's a home game. The crowd should be there, should be up for it. The home crowd always, that's one thing about going to watch the games. Like, the home crowd, we're always there backing the team. So, yeah, let's see what happens, man. I think we'll do it. I think we'll do it in like a 1-0 or something. Or someone scores and then maybe we get a penalty and then it's like 2-0,
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest worry for me again going into this game is, can we keep the squad together, and on top of that, link that midfield and the attack for the entire 90 or not? Because as we saw in previous games, the moment you pick out Bruno or the moment you pick out Casemiro from that from the middle of that park, it just seems to completely de-alienate the attack with the defense and the spaces that we've been mentioning since last season, that you can see spaces in behind when it comes to the midfield, when it comes to the defense. Opposition teams are able to make the most of it. And if a team like Grimsby can actually hurt us, I would say Burnley have definitely got a lot more quality in comparison to Grimsby if it comes to exploiting those sort of spaces. So how do you think Amorim is going to maintain that composure, and I would say that sort of compactness? Because at least with the starting 11, we've seen that it is tougher to break United down.
Absolutely. We're kind of like in a weird sort of catch-22 situation where this system works really well if we get like an early goal and the other team comes, starts to attack us. And it works perfectly that way. However, if we don't score early and then we have to keep, it's so easy to defend against because you can just be so compact, especially if you're defending against this system. Now the big worry here is creating chances. This is the biggest problem that I have with this squad. Fair play to the team against Arsenal. Like, we didn't give them anything. Like, it was, we're hard to break down. Even against Fulham, the first half, we were hard to break down. They weren't just walking through us like it was. And then even when they did, our defense was on point. So I'm really, really happy with the defenders and, us setting up in a way that's not very easy for the opposition to get down. To break us down. The problem comes when we start to make changes and we put the players come in and then it's not the same profile. And then all of a sudden everything is out the window. So yes, I like the fact that we're harder to break down. However, the main problem is going forward. Now, Mason Mount in this team has done really well so far, right? But the problem is when we have Mason Mount, what we're doing is we're sacrificing the position for a striker. This is the problem. With him in there, he's able to hold everything together, at least to a certain extent in the middle. But then what that means is that we're lacking that attacking threat up front. Cunha and Mbeumo are really, really good goal scorers. But on their own, they don't have the instincts of like a proper number 9. They don't have that they're wide forwards, inside forwards, wherever you want to call them, but they don't have that instinct as a number 9. And if we keep doing this thing where we have 2 strikers on the bench and we don't play them, we play Messi out instead. Like, I don't know what I don't know what this guy's really trying to achieve. Like, I'm lost for words. And every time I question this manager, I always have to remind myself that I'm just a casual, right? I don't have any tactical background or anything. I'm just a casual fan, just watching the game as I see it. And I always want to believe that he knows a lot more than the rest of us do. But then it never turns out that way. Like, it always turns out that, we're always, I don't want to say we're always right, but then it always never just goes the way we expect it to go. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's always, I never see this change of system to sort of adapt, to the other team. It's always the same thing we're doing. And it's really disheartening just to sit back and watch. So I don't know what to expect of this one. Honestly, I don't.
Yeah, and I think coming from the fans' perspective as well, during Ten Hag's time, during Amram's time till now, most of the issues have always been the midfield. And I think even now going into with Amarim, the problem is still the midfield. And when you look at that attack as well, like you mentioned, we are sacrificing that striker position for Mount. Credit to Mount that he's been doing quite well in his regard when it comes to pressing, when it comes to off the ball movement, but there is still that problem when it comes to, are there enough goals? When you look at Mbuemo, when you look at Cunha, when you look at Mount, or when you put in someone like Xerxes, when you put in someone like a Sesko, do the goals actually come then? And I think Sesko has been covered a lot. What do you feel about Xerxes having a future in this team as that 9?
I think Xerxes would be perfect. I think Xerxes would be perfect with this team. I think with being flanked by Mbuemo and Cunha, I think he's the perfect person for them. Xerxes is one of his most underrated skills is his ability to hold the ball. And he has a lackadaisical way of playing, but it's kind of like a mask because basically, I mean, people would misjudge that for him being lazy, but if you notice, like, he's quite physical, especially when he has the ball. And I think his ability to be able to play with players, bring players in. Cunha and Mbeumo are perfect sort of players to play the ball against. They go in. Xerxes can pull an extra defender with him. Right now, if I'm a central defender going up against Man United, I'm chilling. Yeah. I'm chilling. Like this, there's no big man I have to worry about. It's Cunha, is whatever. I can beat anyone in the box. No, honestly, if a ball comes in for a header, I'm winning every header. If I'm a central defender, there's who's going to win a header against me? Mount, Bruno, none of them. Like, so if I'm a central defender in opposition team, I'm chilling. I'm enjoying myself, man. It's going to be easy playing with the champagne glass in one hand, man. Easy. But then when you have a proper striker like Sesko to come on, then you're kind of like, okay, I need, as a defender, you're a little bit more worried to play against them. So. I don't know. I really want to see Xerxes in this thing. I was hoping that was what we were going to see, but apparently not. It doesn't. It doesn't seem to work out that way. And I don't know how much more we can go with this, but I think today would be a defining moment in Ten Hag's career going forward as a Manchester United manager, because here he's lost a large section of the fans, and he might lose a lot more today, because what happened against Grimsby, we've never been that low. Like, it's that was the lowest of the low. We've never ever been that low before. I've been a supporter of this club for God knows how long. I'm way older than all of you, and I don't remember it being this bad. And the symbolism of that, of losing to a 4th-tier team away in that manner, and the scrutiny that has come with it, this is when we need a response. And if we don't see any sort of response today, whether tactically, whether from the results, anything, like, there's nothing that can defend this right now. The manager has to be able to put together a formula to beat Burnley. I'm not even talking about the next games or whoever's. The game right in front of you now is the game. And if you can't put anything together to win this game, then I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think definitely it's tough times because we still haven't really gotten our first win of the season. And when you look at the teams that we are supposedly, going to be competing with when it comes to, those top 8 or even, you could say the top 10 positions for that matter, every single one of them has gotten a win at least. And I would say in much better fashion. And Burnley have actually gotten, registered a win I think in the last game they played against Sunderland. So, and they beat them 3-0. So
Yeah.
they definitely have some momentum going into this game against United. And there is, for some reason, I think these teams who just get promoted, they seem to have that sort of confidence coming up against Manchester United every single year, that maybe we can do a job here, maybe we can get points off them, and we've seen it happen a lot of times. When you look at Burnley, do you think they'll maintain their status in the Prem, or do you think they will be relegated?
I don't know anything about Burnley, to be honest. I know Hannibal plays there. And I know what's his name that's gone to Bayern Munich. Company used to be the manager. Well, they must have done well to be able to get promoted. Getting promotion from Championship is not an easy thing.
Yeah.
It's not. I mean, it's almost on the same level as the way it is for us on our level to win the Premier League or to come within the top 4. The way it's hard for us here is the same way it is for them. Like it's a tough league. It's a really tough league. It's a long league. You go to so many hostile venues and all that kind of stuff. So it's no small achievement to come up here. If you come up here, you've earned it, basically. So with Burnley, I really don't know that much about them. But I know that in England, the level of football has I mean, it's growing every season. Like it's growing. Burnley could easily go to, no disrespect, but they could easily go to the Portuguese league and survive every single season easily. I think with the intensity and all that sort of the way they play, or they could go somewhere else to a much lower league and survive. So yeah, I don't know much about them in their current states, but I know enough about my team to be scared of a team like Burnley.
I think definitely, and I think on top of that, one of the biggest talking points I think in this team is going to be Dalot starting at left wing back, because I don't think that in the past few games even when he's come on as a sub, he's done enough to make earn himself a position in that area. And I think Dorgu had actually been doing quite well in that position, and I think alongside Cunha, the way he formed that partnership and the way they complemented each other, I think it worked quite well. So I don't know why he's gone with Dalot, but I think for some reason, I've seen it a lot that Amorim tends to pick Dalot, especially when he's in a pickle.
Yeah, I think maybe just for more defensive assurance, which is, I can put that assurance in inverted quotes, because because Dalot is a natural defender, so maybe he goes with that. I don't know, but just for context, we have Dalot and Shaw on the same side. I don't know if that puts any confidence in anyone, but like it's, maybe he might form a connection with Cunha, like the whole they both speak Portuguese. I don't know. I'm just clutching at straws here. I'm just hoping that there's some sort of reasoning, there's some sort of rationale behind Dalot playing over Dorgu. Because I just don't want to believe that he just prefers that. I don't want to believe he prefers Dalot over Dorgu. I just want to believe something went wrong and he's put Dalot in there for whatever reason that we don't know. Because if he's actually chosen Dalot over Dorgu, bro, it's yeah. So I think let's just tell ourselves that there's something. There's a reason that we don't know. So
of course, and I think we need to take a look at our bench as well for this game. So on the bench, we've got Andre Onana, we've got Eden Heaven, Harry Maguire, Mazraoui is back, Kobe Meno, Ugarte, Dorgu, Sesko, and Xerxes. So I would say a decent bench. Who do you think will actually be able to come on and get minutes?
Mazraoui, because that'll be the natural person to play the left wing back role, I think, over Dorgu. So hopefully we can see that. I would even mind seeing Mazraoui in the midfield sort of position.
Yeah,
he's very versatile. Yeah, He's versatile. He's good on the ball. He can spot runs. He does the line breaking passes every now and then. I've seen that a few times. So I wouldn't mind seeing him come on. Obviously, I'd like to see Sesko come on. I'd like to see Xerxes come on. But I want to see Kobe Mino. Like we really need to manage this situation. This is the thing about being a head coach. It's not just being a coach and putting up the tactics. It's management as well. Managing your players. That's where it all comes down to as well. And I need to see some sort of management. Kobe Mino. Like he needs to come on, or I don't know. But we can't just risk not playing him when he's clearly stating he wants to go on loan. The window is about to close. Bro.
Yeah, there's no way we lose out on someone like Kobe Mino, because I still think that he's, when you look at that midfield, and when you look at, as someone as a pure box to box, when he's given a freedom, I think he's probably one of the best that you've got. And I think when you look at the potential he has, and when he's able to, when he's allowed to actually play his natural game, there are not a lot of players who look that good on the ball, especially when they're progressing, forward. And I think, again, in this system, it kills his natural play style, the way Amorim actually wants him to play, because it's way too restricted for a midfielder. And I don't think that there's going to be a time where he's going to sub Bruno off. He's had a lot of occasions where he could make that change for Bruno and Mino, but he's never done it. So I don't know in what capacity Kobe is going to get minutes, but when it comes to the transfer window, there is like 3 to 4 days left. In other news, Højlund has just made his move official to Napoli for a loan with a 44 million obligation, I think, or an option.
Yeah.
Do you think we get that 44 million?
Hopefully. It's the talent. No, I'm being serious. I feel really bad for Højlund because, like I said a few times, Højlund is not a terrible player.
Yeah.
We just play in a system it's very limiting to certain players, and it's not very conducive for, like, if you're just an average sort of average-ish player. And I feel bad for him because he's a direct sort of player. Him and Garnacho, like, if they went, not like I feel bad for Garnacho, I'm just saying, like, watch what happens when they go to other teams. Like, we're going to see a lot from them, and I think Højlund is going to score a lot of goals for Napoli. I don't think he's a terrible player at all. He just doesn't fit the style of play. And the problem with the way we play is that it's very limiting, restrictive to certain positions where you have to be able to play in one certain way. It doesn't allow for creativity. It doesn't allow for different profiles. The system only fits a certain sort of profile of player, and it limits us to that. So we're going to lose a lot of players from the academy, and we're also going to miss out on a lot of targets in the summer window, because you might have a very brilliant player that can fit anywhere in almost any other team, but he can't fit in that midfield position for for United. We basically would have to go to AI and create our own sort of midfielder, right? This is what it's coming to. This is what it's coming to. We have to. Yeah, this is the problem. It's a very limiting sort of position where even a player as gifted and as talented and as creative as Kobe Mino can find a place in here, and it's ridiculous. Not only that, it's embarrassing.
Yeah, definitely. Because again, as a manager, that I think the first and foremost thing for you to do is get your best players on the pitch. And if you're not able to get your best players on the pitch, then it means that you're definitely going to be lacking in certain area on the field, and it means if they're not getting minutes, it's going to create unrest in the dressing room. And when it comes to a player like Menu, who has come up from the academy and has he's had that meteoric rise, to moving into the English national team, playing in the Euros final, then that moment against City in the FA Cup final. So he's, like you mentioned before as well, he is definitely a young player, but he's not a youth player. He's got experience in his in his locker, and he definitely needs minutes. So not playing him is definitely going to hurt United and the player. Now we've got 3 to 4 days left in this window. Do you think we get a goalkeeper and a midfielder in by then? Or any player for that matter?
Do you want me to be honest? Right. I'm so numb, right? This is just my honest I'm so numb now that I don't care who comes in now. It really wouldn't affect anything
Yeah,
for me. Um, this the goalkeeper thing is just it's kind of gone really like lukewarm now, where it's like, oh, is he gonna come? Is he not gonna come? And the thing about him is, I can't even get excited because I don't know him. I don't know this lamp. Yeah, I don't know him. All I know is that he plays for Antwerp. I've seen a few highlights. The first thing I searched when I tried to search him, the first video that came up was a compilation of his mistakes. That's the first video I saw. So that was I don't know. So I don't know. Especially with the goalkeeper thing, definitely we need help there. And I keep saying this: Tom Heaton can't be that bad. Like we might as well just try him now and see, like, because he's the only one out of the two that we haven't seen make any serious errors.
yeah,
I don't remember Heaton making any real errors, and I'd rather play him than these two because as far as a midfielder, I don't know. We haven't heard anything. Um, no, there's no loan rumors, nothing. If we get one, fine. If we don't, it doesn't. It really wouldn't matter because they would still come into the system and be shit anyway. So yeah, I'm not. I'm not really. Yeah. What do you think about it?
I think we get one player in, whether it's a goalkeeper or midfielder. I think there definitely will be one player in because after that Grimsby game, and even I would say, after this game today, I think even the management knows that we do need more physicality. And I don't know who it is, but they do need someone else to come in that midfield to at least facilitate, you know, having Bruno alongside him because it's just way too outnumbered in the middle of the park. And you need someone who can do that makeshift job of, being able to able to handle two players at once. So if they can do that, within the next 3 to 4 days, maybe it helps us in the bigger picture. But right now, things definitely look bleak. And on top of
Yeah.
that, the bigger issue that we've got right now is, are the players and the mentality of the players up for it to actually, be able to. I know it's Burnley, but we've seen that, this team actually works a lot on momentum and confidence. When
Yeah.
they've got a good run of like 3 to 4 games, they can easily go on unbeaten runs and stretch it up to 10 to 15. But when they're not in form, in the right headspace,
hmm
they break records for the wrong reasons.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. 100%. I would expect them to be up for it because they're professionals. And to be fair, like, just I know this Grimsby game has really, really like turned the season on its head, but I can't forget what I saw against Arsenal
Yeah,
and what I saw in some games in pre-season where some of the players were really, really up for it. And Delix has looked amazing. Euro looks brilliant. Even Luke Shaw sometimes has stepped up to that position. That's all, Mason Mount looks good. Casemiro's looked decent, So I still expect them to step up for this. I understand what you mean about, the mind, the confidence issues and all that kind of stuff. Things like this with the goalkeeper issue, with the Kobe Mino thing, like if you
yeah,
don't nip it in the bud, it will fester and it will grow. This is the problem because we're already in a fragile. Shreyas, this is game week 3.
yeah,
Game game week 3, and we're in this sort of position. You have to fix this. You have to nip these things in the bud so that it doesn't spread and it doesn't ruin the harmony. What did we hear coming out of preseason? Oh, the players are back. They're bonding. They're so much together, and everyone's all holding hands, and everyone's so kumbaya and happy. And all of a sudden now, this Kobe Mino's unhappy, and also it's a World Cup year, so the players
yeah.
really need to perform anyway. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping for, but I don't know how that turns out.
You
But I
can never be
think
too sure with United.
you can't. I really want an early goal today.
Yeah,
I want a goal within the first 15, right? And then I just need that. Just need some sort of momentum to build up.
I think definitely. I think, and especially against a team like Burnley, if you're able to get an early goal, things start to open up, and the game starts
Mhm.
to, at least I would say, draws closer to you, because the other team is already under a lot of pressure for the entire 80 to 85 minutes rest of the game. So
Yeah,
definitely it helps. But again, we've been very unlucky in front of goal. We've had some
yeah,
very decent chances, but again, we've been very unlucky in front of goal. And I still have to see as to how Sesko, Mbumo, and Mount to get, and even when you put in the likes of Cunha there, how is
yeah.
Amorim going to manage the game time between these guys? How is he able to get the most out of these players while managing that game time? And is he able to work out a formation, or at least work out a way where he can get Xerxes enough time on the pitch as well, alongside Sesko, alongside Mount? Because we've got players, but Xerxes has had no minutes when it comes to the
No,
Prem. Sesko has
yeah,
had barely any minutes, I would say. I think maximum he's played, if I have to add it up, would be around 40 minutes or 35 minutes. So it's not a lot of minutes for a new player who's just come into the league, and you want him to start firing because he's your, I would say, prize number 9 that you've brought in this window.
bro, exactly. Like he's the guy. We spent 70 something million on him and just sitting on the bench. Like what sort of signal does that send? It's not a good look. It's really not a good look. Like, and it really makes me even question him more, because you have all this talent where if you find the right balance, you can play quite a few of them together on the pitch and will be amazing. But he just chooses not to. I don't know if it's because of his ego or he just doesn't know how to play any other way. And I think that's the case with this. I think he just has one way of playing, and then that's it. There's nothing else that he can do. But then we have all these players. Like we can, if we start losing players now because they can't fit into this team, I won't forgive him. Like I really won't. I think he would probably be the most destructive manager we've had if he carries on this way, to be honest. But what I was saying, what both of us were saying about momentum and an early goal is that what it does is that this system is perfect when they're spacing behind.
Exactly.
If the other team are chasing and we win the ball in our half, it's over, bro.
Yeah.
Like it's perfect. But then if we can't even create, if there's a low block and we can't create chances, this is where we become vulnerable. Because every time Grimsby won the ball when we're attacking, it just looked like they were going to score every single time. So that's why we need an early goal for this one.
On that positive note, 4 things that you think will happen in this game.
Did you say 4?
Yeah, 4 things.
4 things. 4 things that would happen. The goalkeeper will look shaky for a corner. That's one thing. I think Matheus Cunha gets his goal today. Bruno plays 90 minutes. And Ukasi comes on for Casemiro.
Basically, mostly the script that has been followed in the first 3 games of this season.
Easy. That was easy.
Because
that was easy.
I don't know how, but I think this is the worst. I think across Europe, I think we've got the worst inventory, you could call it, or even you have to call it, talent that we've got in the goalkeeping department. Because I've not seen any other team in the Prem, for that matter, who's looked as bad with all their options in net.
Yeah. Also, sure, I have to say this. I don't know if I've said this to you before, but I really feel sorry for you. I really do. You and all the young United fans, and it's seriously, you and all the young United fans out there. Like, I really, really feel bad for you, and I'm actually very, very impressed at how you guys are still strong supporters of United, because you haven't really seen anything. You haven't really seen us at our best. You didn't really. You were alive when we're at the top.
Yeah.
You were alive, but you weren't really aware. Like you didn't.
Basically, like Dalo on the pitch.
Yeah, I really commend you guys, because you have to live through this era where we have it's just chaos. We're looking at the goalkeeping. I mean, we've had some terrible keepers before. Roy Carroll. What's the Polish guy? I forgot his name. I forgot his name as well. But we had defenders. You know, we had defenders to sort of block that. We had a system that worked, so it kind of shielded them. They didn't look too terrible at the time, and they didn't make too many silly mistakes and all that. But it was never this bad, like never. And to go from having the best goalkeeper in the league and the best number two, which what's his name was Romero. We had the best number one and the best number two, and to go from that to having like the worst. They're both number twos, basically. Yeah, it's so bad. So I have to commend you, and you know, a lot of Man United fans who never really experienced, you know, like us in our sort of, you know, greatness sort of thing. And yeah, hopefully for your sake, things kind of change. But yeah, it might be a long wait.
It might be, because the best that I've seen was Jose winning the Europa League with us. You know, we finished second, and that is the first time. That was the first time I heard, you know, next season it's going to happen. You know, we crashed down. Oli came in. That night at Paris happened, and it was, you know, it's going to happen. We finished third. Bruno comes in. We finished second. Cristiano comes back. We've got Varane. We have that mega window, and it goes, you know, if we don't come first, at least we come, you know, in the semis or in the finals of the Champions League. That is the sort of expectation there, and it just comes crashing down every time. And with the worst I felt I was during Ten Hag's time, because that first season sold me a lot of dreams during Ten Hag's first season.
Same.
And the second season, it just felt like nothing is working at all. And that start to the third season, it was just, you know, we're seeing the same thing over and over and over again. And I hope that Amorim is able to work it together, because it just feels like more of the same.
Absolutely. I think I still haven't forgiven Ten Hag for that first season, for deviating completely from a formula that was working for you, and he completely went 180, and then just started playing with one single holding midfielder and two attacking, and it just won't work. And he wouldn't do the same thing where he wouldn't just change it back and play, you know. And I don't understand what goes into the minds of these people. Like, I really don't, because it was the best formation to kind of build up, because it was sustainable, because it wasn't dependent on players, right? It wasn't dependent on players. It was a system that worked, because even when we lost Lisandro and Varane at the same time,
Lindelof and Shaw did right.
Lindelof and Shaw came in and fine, like, you know. And how many? We had 11 injuries.
Yeah.
We had 11 injuries.
Shaw was out. I think Shaw was out for some time. Varane was out. Lisandro was out.
Rashford was out. People were dropping in, coming out like we had, but the system stayed.
Yeah.
So he built something sustainable, and he should have just carried on and improved that a little bit, and he just went all the way. And I haven't forgiven him for that till now. Like, it's crazy, but like, this is why I don't like managers. Like, well, not it's not personal to Amorim, but just the profile of managers that just
System
have
managers.
one way. Yes, and they don't deviate from it, and this is what just pisses me off for. Yeah, that's it, man.
Well, to close up the show, what are your score predictions, and who do you think will score?
I think it's 2-0. I think we get a goal, and I think we kind of get like a soft pen. I can see that happening. Soft penalty, and then Bruno sort of makes up for the loss against the miss against Fulham. I can kind of just see it happening. I really want Matheus Cunha to get his first goal for us today. So I'm going to go Cunha Bruno.
I think
we keep a clean sheet as well.
I think it will be a big achievement for Bayern to get his first clean sheet for that matter in the Prem. So I think it will be 2-1. I think Cunha will score. I hope Cunha scores, and I really hope Sesko gets a goal as well when he comes on, because I think you need to have your new strikers come in at least to get a goal. It's been 3 to 4 games now. He definitely needs a goal, and I think for them, I think Hannibal will be scoring one against us.
Oh, I should have gone Hannibal red card or something.
I still remember his debut. He came on and he double-footed Jordan Henderson.
I love that debut.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that debut. Yeah. It was the only thing that kind of just gave us something to shout about. Like, yeah.
So, well, everyone, that is pretty much it for this pre-match build-up. Sam, I think, will be joining us for the review for the game forward. Hopefully, United get the win, and please put in your score predictions in the live chat. And me and Chivi will see you later.